Welcome to another garden vlog, and it sure has been a little while since I've recorded on the garden vlog because I've been doing so much other stuff with the PEP homeschool program and trying to renovate the kids' bathroom. But look at this tropical hibiscus. Seems like the wrong time of the year for these guys to be blooming, but probably also the wrong time of the year for elderberries. Unless you have one of our everbearing ones. The Christmas loquat is in full bloom now. And our update for the Baldwin pear, we grafted another one too. It finally died, so the graft did not take. Beauty berries, full fruit, berries, whatever you want to call them. So that Baldwin pear, we basically said we are going to try to graft it. If the graft takes, we were going to give it away so that whoever gets the Baldwin pear has a pollinator, because Baldwin does not pollinate itself very well, or if at all here. And it didn't take. So we also talked about experiment on root binding the roots, or at least constricting the roots with like concrete blocks and cement and stuff like that around it, but not so much that it would actually stop the roots from growing, just to kind of give it a tightness. So we may have to consider doing that for next season. The goldenrods are starting to be in full bloom now, and the insects sure are enjoying it. Several of our figs seem to have gone into fall mode and dropped their leaves, and now they're growing new ones like it's... And look at how big that leaf is. All of them that dropped their leaves are producing new leaves now instead of staying in that fall dormancy mode. It looks like some of our pawpaws are already going dormant. So you see green leaves there, starting to lose them. But that's a different cultivar with a little graft there. But this original seedling, fully stripped of leaves. This other grafted one here, leaves are fully gone. Alright, go, JJ, go.
Y'all go around a wide circle. Follow JJ. Yeah, that's fine, huh? Follow JJ.
Well, it's probably been a week, maybe even more, since we filmed any for this garden vlog video. No, we haven't ended the garden vlog season. We've just been super busy, albeit we are probably near the end of the season. As many of you probably know that have been keeping up with the channel. Check out the new growth on the comfrey here. All that rain and cool weather seems to make it happy enough here. Hibiscus has grown so much in that pot that it's just falling down. I see this monster Tithonia still don't have flowers, but it's just starting to get bloom heads on it. It's probably 15 foot in the air. Our pluots are back in full bloom again. This is like the 5th or 6th time they've bloomed. Our Barbados cherries are finally in a massive level of bloom, but we're getting cooler weather, so I don't know if we're going to have any more fruits. So we had a very bad harvest this year. The drought probably keeping it in the shade because it was so hot and dry. Biden's alba still sort of here, there, and everywhere blooming in almost full force, but also seeding out. which can be annoying. And I'm enjoying a little few persimmon. So we're pretty much getting near the end of the season with these guys. Well, look at this. Blooms fixing to open from the soft sand pear. That's very strange this time of year, isn't it? Still lots of beauty berries hanging on, even though they're super dark now. Again, I think last year I talked about, there are people that say, save the beauty berries, don't take them. The birds, save them for the birds and squirrels and whatever. Birds and squirrels never seem to bother them, at least on my property. This must be some of the last food that they want to eat in this season, in these seasons, when they're just available for, maybe a couple months or more. I mean, here's another one just loaded full. No birds, nothing seems to have been snacking on them. We really don't have a lot to tell and show you right now. I mean, I had some ideas. Some of them fell through, but we would need a longer time to talk about some of these things in like one session. And I really don't have time since we're redoing the bathroom and we're doing the PEP homeschool program. So you'll probably get bits and pieces until this video is put together and released. We definitely need to get out and plant some of our last ones that we plan to plant for the fall, though, at least in our property. I saw an advertisement yesterday, someone selling loquats. They say fall is the best time of the year to plant loquats. I don't know if that's true, but obviously they were trying to sell them. So maybe it's time to plant that grafted strawberry loquat. Any other the avocados we're going to plant out, which isn't many because we're going to be donating most of them, I think. And at least one of the larger red hybrid jaboticabas. The rest are going to be donated or raffled. And by raffling, I mean donated, because there's going to be too many people wanting them that they can't just be put on a free table in the garden club here. So people will pick a raffle ticket or whatever, and maybe if they bring some extra stuff, I'm not sure exactly how it works, they might get 2 raffle tickets, so they'll have 1 or 2 chances to potentially win a jaboticaba. We had 2 avocados fell here. I think one of them had already gotten some of that blackened trunk, whatever. Now that we're in, getting a lot of rain and it's cooler, maybe we'll plant another one, right here in this big hill, just to see what happens. So I finally found my pruning shears, and I've decided to majorly cut back this red navel that we'd air layered. Most of the life seems to come on this single branch, although there is a little green here. But we kept some of this just to hold the tag. Most likely, if we don't get any leafing out or anything up here, I would suggest somebody to plant this kind of sideways, because I don't think you're going to be able to pull that really down-angled limb up without just pulling the root system out. So probably need to plant the whole plant crooked. So I've also pruned this grapefruit that we air layered, and we got a visitor here. All the dead stuff that I can see, all the thorns we cut back. And because this has never dropped all its leaves, it hasn't really put out new ones. But they're hanging on, so this may just be, it may do okay. Making Natalie a little forage salad here, mostly forage. We got a little bit of broccoli, a little bit of fresh mulberry leaves, longevity spinach, Okinawa spinach, little jewels of opar, a little bit of Suriname spinach, and a little bit of sweet potato leaves. Some tropical hibiscus, some quinoa, and some mallow leaves. Top it off with a little bit of cheese and a little ranch. Wonder how good or bad that's gonna be. I'm not eating it. Natalie, how was it? You ate it all.
So good.
You ate that fast.
Yeah, I want another one.
You want another one? Salad number 2. So this is one of my mystery figs. It's very squishy. No like oozing coming out of there, so it may or may not even be ripe. It's kind of soft though. Let's see what it looks like. Definitely a light color. It smells wonderfully. It smells like honey or something. It tastes a lot like a Celeste fig, but it's a thicker outer, almost leathery exterior. It's like tight but squishy. What would happen if it got a little bit more ripe? I have no idea. I probably bought this with a tag. Tag got, dry rotted or something over time. And I don't know what it was. So you guys probably thought I dropped off the face of this earth because, I haven't posted a garden vlog video in weeks. I'm trying my best to get videos done, but you know what? You guys knew that the end of the season was near, but we did not just stop abruptly without warning. So we're going to continue until we say this season's done. Now we definitely need to get some plants in the ground. End of season planting. We're going to do like a group planting in this area. A little bit of sun, a lot of sun from the opposite side, a little bit of shade. Not quite the driest, not quite the wettest. We kind of just sickled that a little bit, and we're going to see if we can even dig in here. Got the shovel and the post hole digger. All right, the first plant went in, a persimmon that we grafted, the chinting. All right, so we got our little red jaboticaba there, red hybrid, which we've been wanting to plant a larger one for a while. So we took one of those, and the rest of them are probably donated. But we wanted one. We've been planting little tiny half-dead ones, so I said we need to just get one decent-sized one. And I didn't take the sabar because I only had one that did well. So I just took the red hybrid. Looks pretty good. About 4 or 5 foot away, we put a white Genoa fig here. Look at these big old giant leaves here. I think all of my grafted avocados, besides this Joey here, have died. The Fantastic, the Brazos Bell, and the other one I had in the ground. This one's looking good, but it has a lot of protection from all these goldenrods and Bidens and all that stuff near this banana mound. So I think I'm going to plant a big seedling 6 or 8 foot away from it, just to see if we have double luck in the same area. Get a nice big one. And the reasoning for this versus like what I said previously on the vlog, that I'm using a lot of them that I wouldn't donate. Those were experimental. This place has one that seems to be surviving and potentially thriving. So let's put a nice one there. And we got plenty still to donate. This is probably my biggest and nicest one. So I'll save that for, a raffle or something for the local garden community. But those other two are just fine. I'll try to just use one. I want to get this 3-gallon pot, or I think I'm going to choose this lower pot. It's probably like a gallon that is just smushed, 1.5 gallons. Still a really nice 2.5 foot or so tree. Now, the reason I have some of these in the shade is that they didn't really tolerate the sun when I put them out there. I had some seedlings that were in the sun most of the time, got used to it, I guess, and then a few that I think they were growing in the shade longer, including these guys. They just wilted and did not do good in the sun. This is going to have some protection from the sun with all those goldenrods, as I said, and maybe it'll get used to the sun once it overgrows and gets 6, 8, 10 foot, if it survives. So we got it on a little bit of a mound there, and so we shouldn't have any problems with water, flooding it. And 6, 8 foot, there is the other one. Well, I kind of sling sickled trail, my normal trail through wetlands on one, looking for a place to plant something else, but I didn't really spot anything. I'm thinking maybe next year, after we get some good freezes and all these weeds and all die down in the spring or something, early summer, we can have another look when there's less density of weeds and I was thinking that banana mound, our first one we built, you know, way back there where those bananas are. Maybe we could put an avocado there next year. We have a little area on the inside of this little driveway gate full of Bidens, and I got guy wires coming this way. If we just put it a few feet that way, it'll be away from the structure enough, whatever we plant, persimmon or whatever, and hopefully away from the guy lines we have over there. Well, let's see if we can clear this area out. I've about sling-sickled my arm off. The biggest thing here is the competition with these Mexican petunias, the root systems, and these are hard to break with a sling sickle. The Biden's alba are here too, but they're a little bit easier to handle, except when they're mixed and mingled in with these or some tough grasses or something. Initially thought that we could put a persimmon there, and I said no. It's kind of too close to the septic tank. You know, you need to be at least like 40 foot from a septic tank. Probably should be a similar spacing away from field lines, drainage fields, leach fields, whatever you call them. Same thing, just people call them different things. And I said mulberry, no, way too long roots, just like persimmon, maybe even longer roots than persimmons. So I think we're going to do a combination of a fig and a smaller avocado. Again, I'm keeping the bigger avocados for raffles or to give away to the local garden community. So I think I'm going to do this Flora Italian fig. This little avocado here that is highly stressed out. It has some dieback and stuff. Definitely droopy leaves. All right, we actually have 3 plants here, all in the same hole. Guess what the third one is? It's a white sapote. I might need to spread them out so they're angled before I pack them in and water them. I thought about putting my grafted loquat in that area, but it was just too close to a building, and I know 15, 20, 30 years, these guys get some pretty wide branching and heavy branching, and they have to be constantly like pruned off of houses or buildings, you know, fences, everything that they're somewhat close to. Another question or comment couple would be, hey, you know, why would you put 3 in the same planting hole? Is that bad? Is it supposed to be good? You know what? We had a limited space in that area. The white sapote, you know, they're subtropical, tropical-ish, so it may not survive anyway. That's why we experimented with several placements, you know, here, there, and everywhere. The fig is probably, based on everything that you read, a decent amount of sun and everything there. A little bit dry when I dug, but there were still earthworms, so there's probably a little bit of moisture there. And we've been getting rain semi-frequently, so that's probably the most likely to survive there. Whereas the avocado, we're banking on some protection from those weeds for the first few years. You know, will it survive a deep freeze here for the first couple, 2, 3, 5 years before it gets hardened off enough, you know, to survive on its own? And we're not going to protect the white sapote or the avocado there. The main plant there is basically the fig, and if the avocado somehow survives and does well there, I think it'll do well long term, because, you know, these guys will probably get 35, 40 foot if they survive, and they'll be well over, you know, the structure before they give you any kind of major branching. So branches should not, for the most part, be in the way, I don't think, unless you prune that one to be a bush. Then it might grow out and around more than up. So the main plant or planting in that specific hole would have either been a fig, mulberry, persimmon, or what's the other thing? Loquat. That might have been a good area for a pomegranate if I would have had a large one, or maybe a prunus of some sort, like a peach or something, nectarine, plum. I scouted around looking for other areas to plant some stuff in the Thieves Fruit planting zone, What is a thieves fruit planting area or zone or type of planting? It means you're planting a edible something right near a road, near a sidewalk, maybe in a yard that is at least 15-20 foot from a road but doesn't have a fence on it, where people are going to say, oh, look at these apples, look at these peaches, loquats, pears, persimmons, and just go and steal them. Persimmon number 2 planted today. This is the vanilla or vanigla. It's kind of got a nice little bit of sun there. Not perfect. Definitely some shade, but morning sun, you got some midday sun. Maybe some late evening sun too. Holy moly, this is our first ever chestnut. There's one there, and somewhere over there is one too. My gosh, we don't even have anything else blooming. Did one of our young seedlings bloom early, at like a year or two old? I know I've had some citrus and all would bloom. Some weird weather pattern or something would set it off or put it into survival mode or something and bloom. But I can't remember. Maybe we had one and we got, it looks like 2 actual chestnut husks. I'm just now noticing it. This tree was part of a 2 planting. I've planted 2 of these hybrid chestnuts maybe 25-ish years ago. Maybe when they're about 11 or so years old, they started blooming. Never cross-pollinated each other. The wet weather, I think, and the ground put them both in decline, and one of them died. And this one has just died a lot, and then it would come back and get a little bit green, die down, get a little bit new growth, and then die down again. And it might have bloomed one time in the last 5 years that I noticed. But then we put this post-mycorrhizal bed thinking, well, can we build a bed around it, not super dense, not super like air and water tight, but having a lot of those air pockets in there as everything breaks down, feeds the tree, gives it that beneficial mycorrhizal fungal activity that would hopefully have a symbiotic relationship with the root system and prevent something like bacterial root rot and sponging off excess moisture from the root system. And once we did that, we seen like immediate results on this tree. Definitely greener looking, more growth and everything. And now, 25 plus years later, we're getting our first chestnuts. And this is the other one. This shows promise for getting chestnuts to grow in wetlands areas. It's not proof. We would probably have to, replicate this for years to come. But it's so promising. It feels like it's a success. In 2 or 3 or 5 years, we can probably say, yeah, this is like we're 99% sure. Or we could say this was just a fluke, and 2, 3, 5 years we get a major flood, something happens, and the tree goes back to decline. But I really needed that, that exciting new thing, because my feet have been bothering me a lot lately. Been tired, we've been stressed out working on the bathroom renovations, and that's stressing everybody else out. And we're doing that PEP homeschool program, and I've been itching to just get out and plant some stuff, doing the end of the year or end of the season, last minute planting, and this is almost it here. We got 2, 3, 4 things, maybe, probably less than 10, almost definitely, that we're going to plant And then we're done for the season. Grafted Thompson mulberry goes in the ground here where that old grapefruit seedling did not do well. Then we planted that avocado and it died within like a day of being planted here. I hope that this guy's going to do better. The soil is pretty loose. It looks pretty good. It's not flooded. It's not dry. Let's hope for the best. Now this is an area probably 50 foot from the back fence there, all the way in the backyard. And areas, 50 and 60 foot from here in certain directions are the wettest areas on our property. This area is a little bit higher than that area. Kind of goes up and down. Now we're right here in one of the wettest spots normally. And this is that mycorrhizal raised bed, this big one that we, did the ants, and everything to try to get it started. And we planted that Brazos Bell avocado, and it kind of died, came back, but looks like it's probably dead. Even the rootstock, there is no green. It's all dried out. Should we dare put something in here? You guys to see the soil, how rich it looks, how dark. This kind of reminds me of our magic soil. I mean, look at that. Maybe it was too rich for that avocado. But we have our handful 2 mulberry, and it doesn't look that great. So it could be in a decline anyway. So it'll either make it here or it won't. And there she is. Doesn't look like much. So we have this big hill right at the back, this fence here at this wet area. And the hill is probably almost always above the water. And we planted 2 avocados here. Both of them died. Let's just do it here in the fall and see if it makes any difference. Got this guy here. This is the GHB seedling. And there she is. Wish us luck. 3rd time's a charm, hopefully. And I just planted an Oscar. And also probably 10 foot from this fence. And here is our Flanders fig, where we put that Beal or Bale fig a few months ago trying to save it. It unfortunately just seemed to die. Nothing came back from the roots. There's a little tomato there. Maybe that's Everglades tomato that I planted from seed. I don't know. Here we go. We got 2 more, and I don't know if I have a place yet to put this Tice. So this might have to wait till another day or another video. But we have the avocado there. We put this little avocado seedling on this other hill. The other avocado seedling we planted here did not make it from. So both of these hills in the back, the avocados died on. So hopefully we'll have better luck. All right, I got a hole dug for that Tice mulberry. And if I didn't see it before, that Oscar that I talked about planting was a mulberry. And there it is. We are in the sweet gum root zones. Not the best track record here with planting things, but I tried to make sure I loosened up the soil quite a bit so it gives it room for these roots to grow a little bit. And of course, mulberries have a really long and tough root system anyway. So hopefully once it gets established a little bit, it'll be able to push right through and compete with these sweet gums and camphor roots and all that good stuff. I'm going to give everything a quick water, and I'm done for the day in the garden vlog here. How many weeks has it been? I don't know, but I'm tired. And until the next time, take care, guys.